What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks. And we back in the building, you feel me? It's True Talks. Cause True Talks. Alright, let's get straight right into it. So you already know. Last night was definitely a big game. It was the Nets and the Lakers. Obviously, it was more so a hindered matchup on the Lakers end. They didn't have AD. And he's out for 4 weeks, basically minimum. Obviously, with the calf strain, Achilles area and all that type of stuff. Obviously, that's something you got to be careful with. It's very, very similar to what KD had when he had the calf strain. You know what I mean, with Golden State. And then, obviously, when you put too much pressure, you try to rush to come back. The Achilles now gets more sore, and you put more pressure on that. And then that's just asking for it to basically, rupture. So this is very, very, you got to be cautious, especially with a quick turnaround with the Lakers, right? So, and they're obviously also missing Schroeder, which is definitely a big hit because Schroeder has actually been padding defensively. Like, he's been surprising a lot of people defensively. So that is definitely, like, he's doing Rondo, Bradley type of defense. Like, that's definitely a big loss. Obviously, I think it's COVID, health safety protocols and all that. But so the Lakers are obviously hindered with that. And the Nets are obviously hindered. We still haven't seen, like, Roberson came at the end of the game, but we haven't seen like Shumpert isn't, fully healthy. And then obviously KD, the main mono, right? The main guy. So he's not healthy as well. So this is obviously not the perfect matchup in terms of like, like everyone healthy, but it's still Harden, Kyrie, LeBron, you know what I'm saying, Kuzma, whatever, right? So more so, obviously the Nets still, like the Lakers still were, to me, should have been the favorites to win this game, especially with everyone saying Harden and Kyrie and all his doo-doo is garbage. It's not the same without KD, and they lack defensively and whatever. The Lakers are better defensively, should be passed. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, that's what I try to tell you. A lot of this shit is cap, but we'll get into that anyways. You already know. Let's go into the context, because I give it that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. So you already know it's a blowout. So we're just going to basically talk about what transpired and what's relevant is going to play with the clips, right? So let's go into basically these narratives, right? So these narratives, as you could see, like these narratives with the Nets, they don't play defense, right? They don't play defense. They don't rebound. And obviously, there's only one ball. It's not going to work offensively, this and whatever. But they're slowly starting to regress on that. They act like they never said nothing, but, oh my God, offensively, that's not the issue. Offensively, that's not the issue. When coming in, you were saying offensively is even going to be an issue. You didn't even talk about defense. You said offensively. You didn't know. That's the funny part about this is that coming in, they already knew that, like, to the naked eye, Kyrie doesn't have great defense. Harden doesn't have great defense. Like, and yet they didn't say they're not going to be elite because of defense. They never once said that. They said they're not going to be elite because it's not going to work offensively. There's only one ball. Kyrie's going to be upset. KD, you know what I mean? They even, to the fact with Cap saying it's one ball, even KD needs the ball. Like, that's how you know they're just talking smack, right? But even then, they're saying Kyrie and Harden aren't going to work as one ball, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I tried to take coming in, what you see a guy play in this situation is not the same how he's going to play in this situation. Remember, I was saying that. I bet I was the first one telling you that. Harden coming in, I don't expect it to be the same Harden. I expect it to be a more different Harden than what you saw in Houston. And the crazy part is you're actually seeing more similar to the same Harden. But in lesser dosages. What I mean by that is still the same. He's not shooting that much mid-range. He's shooting more mid-range slowly. But even then, it's like 1 or 2 a game. But he's doing more catch and shoot slowly. He should be doing more, but he'll do like maybe 2 situations. He'll do it, right? It's still a bit. He used to do it 0, but he's actually doing it slowly more. But the same play style, Harden, boom, 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 through the legs, boom, 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 kill, blow by layup, boom, 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 kill, dime alley, boom, 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 kill to the corner, kill to this person, dimes or whatever, like, and then boom, 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 step back, right? Like, it's the same. And then boom, 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 draw foul. Like, it's the same 3-4 situation play style type of Harden that you're seeing, but you're seeing more passing. And the funny thing is not even like you're seeing more passing. He still passed at this high octane in Houston. So it's literally more so the same Harden with just lesser shots. But Harden has averaged 10 assists with Houston before. You know what I'm saying? So the assist, not like the assist is hella drastic. Oh my God, he's like, it's just his shots is more so less. He's playing off the ball a little bit more because Kyrie still needs it. KD still, you know what I'm saying? And he's in the corner, or he's off the ball. But he's literally still running the point guard, still doing the same type of, he's even doing more of a similar Harden, which shows you how these people don't know basketball. Because it's not like he drastically changed. I even said he was going to be a different Harden. He's still different. Like, I didn't say he was going to be drastically different, but he's still different. But people would think he has to be completely different. The worst part, the funny part is he's just slightly different. He's slightly different. So that shows you that your assessment literally is capped, because it's not like he completely changed. Oh, I thought I was talking about if he was this Harden. No, he didn't even completely change. So that just shows your original assessment was capped. And there's a lot of biases and hidden agendas under it and disdain for these players and whatever the case is. And that's why they consistently, nope. It's a blinded argument and a blinded facts. They just cap and they just lie to themselves because they don't like this specific person. They don't like Kyrie. They don't like Harden. You know what I mean? Whatever. Or he's in threat of LeBron. There's all these hidden, it's just humans at the end of the day. So you can't, what they say isn't law, right? The IQ is what the law is, right? So IQ, that's what I do. But anyways, even I could be wrong. You just have to understand, is what he's saying, is what the person is saying, does it do justice by the sport? You know what I'm saying? Does it do justice by the sport, by the IQ, by what the context is happening? Is there context? Is everything applied? Is IQ being taught? It could come from anybody. Me, doesn't matter. This person, the third. But just listen, is it IQ? Is what you're saying transparent or what you're watching? Does it match? You know what I'm saying? That's where it's like, okay, it's not cap. Okay, you can believe this person. And that's what the media don't be doing. They be contradicting themselves because what they say is not true. What they say is true. It's just so many different caps. And that's where you're like, okay, clearly it's hidden agenda, because how could you just sit there and say something that's not true? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I digress. But another narrative, again, this whole, like I was saying even before, which was the main narrative. Now they changed it. Obviously, didn't, because now they're killing on offense. They have to find something else. They don't play defense. And what was I telling y'all before? I was telling you can't just look at the score and look at a 1-2 situations where it's an open shot. They don't run out to contest. They don't swing on that situation or whatever. Or it's just splash, 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 and maybe 3 or 4 consecutive plays. And then now the paint is just wide open dunk. And DeAndre's like, you know what I mean? And they don't rotate as much, whatever. That's out of context. Like I said, yes, there's going to be times they don't play defense. It's like, God damn, come on. What are y'all doing? But the reason for that is due to a high-octane offense. I can show you plays with Golden State when they were the number one offense and number one high up-tempo scoring. Even when they were, leading and whatever, they still were bottom in points allowed. They were bottom 10 in points allowed. Because when you score so high or so much high up-tempo, the other team is trying to match your tempo. So what happens is they're going to naturally score more. Once you score, Steph score in transition. Inbound, the man inbounds it quick, run down the court, layup. Inbound, run down the court. You know what I mean? You can't rotate as much and pad and lock up. And when you're giving so much energy on your up-tempo offensive play, and then now you have to now guard up-tempo, high-octane offense. You're not going to pad. You can't pad and move your feet and swing on every defensive possession on a high-octane offense where men's are shooting in 7 seconds on you while you're shooting in 7 seconds as well. It doesn't work like that. There's going to be times if you don't switch right away and it's like, that guy backdoors, the guy in the corner is not just going to run OD and just block the shot in the paint and swing. And if he's at a position whatever, he's just, nigga, inbound it quick, bucket. We out. You're going to outscore this high up tempo. It's just natural pace and space, high octane offense means naturally they're going to score, you're going to score. It's timely stops that always matters. There's going to be moments where, because you guys are scoring, right, you're going to have to get a stop in the fourth quarter. You're not going to be pushing fast pace on every possession because now it more so matters. You're going to have to get a stop. Score on me when we slow down. And this is what people don't understand. And this is a deeper level context, deeper level of IQ and context, deep level context. The teams that have so slow pace of play are naturally going to look like they lock up. Because when you're slow, every possession is you're running to that back end of the shot clock. if you go look at it, just in general of the whole NBA, right? And this is the times you use advanced analytics to your advantage. And where you don't just use it to tell you everything, you use it to actually explain things that are happening. That's when it makes sense. So what I mean by that is, if you look at it just in general, even in all eras in general, when you are scoring or when you take shots at the back end of the shot clock, the last 5 seconds or the latter part of the shot clock, your percentages decrease. When you shoot on the quicker, when you shoot earlier in the shot clock, your percentages and your scoring is at its highest. And the more the clock decreases, the more the percentages and the more the offense and the more the production decreases. That's exactly like even in the fourth quarter. The more you're in the 5 minutes, the more it decreases, the more it's harder to score. It's like that. Pressure rises, all of that type of stuff. In the shot clock, you're more scattered, helter-skelter. When you're at the top part, your plays work, you're running your offense, but then when that's locked up, that's padded and you're slow, and you're now forced to score, in 3, 2, 1, 5, 4. That's when you're more so going to miss. That's when your percentage decrease. If you have to do that a lot during the game, you're going to now look like you're padded. It's a manipulation. It's like your eyes aren't telling you that, aren't showing you what is actually transpiring. An untrained eye can't really understand what's really transpiring in the real, in the real moment of what's happening. So what I mean by that, Lakers don't score with the rest of the team, with the rest of the leagues in them teams in the league. They don't score at a high octane rate. They play slow pace. Bron is there. He'll score in transition if they get it still, whatever, they'll score. Any team does that in transition, right? But a lot of the times it's slow, even off misses, slow come down. LeBron going to dribble the shit out of the ball. You know what I'm saying? He's going to dribble, and then he's going to now hit 80 in the post, or he's going to go to the post, or they're going to run this action, come off the screen. They don't really run actions as down screens for guys to catch and shoot off the down screens. Like, they're not cerebral offensively in terms of their role players catching and shooting like Joe Harris or whatever. No, those guys coming off the screens is just an action to now get a guy switched. They don't really score off Cruz will come off a down screen, Cruz will come off a screen pull. Like, no, he comes off the screen, he catch. Now because he came off the screen, they switch. Now LeBron has a mismatch. Now you go to him in the post. Like, that's their plays. Their screens are more so actions to get one-on-one mismatches. And that's why they shoot low in the clock. That's why they're not scoring at a high octane. They're like middle of the pack scoring. So when you're playing a slow pace of game, which is what you're seeing even versus the Nets, they played a slow pace of game. That's when now you're going to look like you pad more. You're literally locking up initial things. Like, you're playing slow already. Now this first play is not going to work. You have to do, you're not killing. Now you're in the low end of the clock more often. I'm going to pad you more often. And that's the Lakers. That's why they look like that's why they have the number one defensive efficiency and all that type of stuff, and defensive rating, and all that type of stuff, because they're slow pace already, and they do have good defense. So in pace playoff situations, and you're gonna get padded. Your numbers are gonna look like the number one defensive, as opposed to someone who's high up tempo offense. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? So now let's expose this. Does the Lakers really have elite defense if now you're in a slow pace of play, you're not scoring, you're being padded, but then the Nets are scoring with high efficiency, high everything, and yes, they're not scoring their 130s, but they're still high efficiency. Because it's slow pace, you're getting less shots or whatever, but all their percentages are still elite. 50% from the field. What is it? Like, what did they do? Almost 50 from the field again, or from three again. Let's check. Give me 1 second here. My fault. Let me check real quick what happened last night, the box score. So I just give you IQ, real context of what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see right here the team stats as we hear. Just bear with me real quick. Okay, there we go. So basically they shot 49% from the field, 46 from three as a team. While the Lakers shot 48 from the field, which is good from the field, but they shot 26 from three. So they still did 50-40, the Nets. So, like, what know what I'm saying? They shot only 77 shots while the Lakers shot 83. Like, what are man's talking about? Their rebounds aren't good, but yet they're not good at rebounding, but yet the Nets had 51 rebounds and the Lakers had 44. They consistently beat man's in defensive rebounds. Just their offensive rebounds they don't get. They consistently, they're ninth, eighth in the league in defensive rebounds. This whole, oh my God, they don't rebound. Like, it's cap. It's a lot of this shit is cap, man. A lot of this shit is cap. Like, a lot of this shit is cap. They had 9 steals. They had more steals. Like, they were locking up. And this is what I try to tell people. Like, the Nets, I already knew that they're going to play better defense overall. But now when they're facing the Lakers, this is what I was saying earlier on Twitter, that they're matching, the Lakers are dictating the pace. The Lakers normally, because of LeBron dribble, like, they're going to dictate the pace. So they're going to, even if they miss, it's like everything is so slow. You're not just going to up-tempo push now off their miss because it's so slow. You know, you get the rebound, whatever. Now I'm going to come up slow. Like, the Lakers are dictating. You could either dictate by being a slow-paced team or by being up-tempo paced team. It's either or. So right now, the Lakers were dictating the pace. But what was happening is that the Lakers on a slow pace were getting padded. Like, now this is the first time you've seen the Nets play at a hella slow pace, which is why their defense even looked more elite than it actually normally even is. Because normally they're not in a they're in a fast-paced game. So they do still pad, but you're still going to score OD, like, fast-paced, that guy passes down, you're running down the court, the big runs, punch. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. And it's like, it's not that serious, whatever. Okay, but in the fourth quarter, we pad more, so get timely stops, we win. Right? But versus a slow-paced team, we're going to pad you more often. Joe Harris is padding. They're passing in the paint. Cookies. Like, you're seeing bare steals. You're seeing, swing and ability. Like, because they don't have ability and whatever, they're padded even more. Like, they're a slow-paced team. You're going to be more so padded, more one-on-one situations, more lock-up abilities. And that's what the issue is with the Nets, is that it's their multiple rotational type of defense. But one-on-one, they're not even getting killed that much OD if you actually look at it. And then now we're still scoring at a high efficient, like, their offense is still their offense. So the defense with the Nets has never been the issue. It's been the manipulation of the pace, the space, and the tempo and whatever, and that's been what's basically looked like they have no defense or whatever. And I already told y'all about the Golden State numbers. I told y'all, if y'all been paying attention to this channel, I've told y'all about the Nets and how they're more relevant to Golden State Warriors than people actually think, especially defensively. Their pace and space, obviously they're going to allow more, but when you score more, you allow more. Their differential in points allowed and points scored was 5. The exact same, 5-6, the exact same as what the Golden State Warriors in 2018 were when they won a ring. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this whole notion of lock up, my God, they're scoring more on you. What are we scoring? Now look at what we score. Now look at what they score. Like, how could you score 130 and then you're scoring basically 130, but then you want to lock up? Just taking the logic. You score 130, but then you expect them to only allow 100, 102. They have to have elite defense. Like, are you serious? Does that even like, as IQ wise, does it even add up? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't even add up. So when you look at it from that perspective, like, come on now, like, obviously, like, the Nets, like I told y'all, they're elite, man. They're hella elite, and this is without KD. Kyrie didn't even go in his bag, like Joe Harris, his ability, man, his shooting ability, like that's what I try to tell y'all, like, the shots that these guys are getting are so open because Harden, Kyrie, KD's ability is so potent that you have to pay so much attention to them that now those guys are hella open and they're getting the most open looks they ever got in their whole career. Just wide open catch and shoot. And it's not even like they're just catch and shoot guys. They're actually skilled players. Tyler Johnson can shoot mid-range. They're not weak players. He could catch and shoot, you know what I'm saying? TLC can do that. I've seen him shoot mid-range. Shamet is more than just a catch and shoot guy. Where he's been, he's just had to do that. But you've seen him ball handle, escape, like, you've seen him do things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Joe Harris as well can shoot mid-range. He can shoot threes. He has Klay Thompson ability, movement in terms of offensively. And Joe Harris is not a slouch defensively. He's not. He's not no Klay, but he's not, like, the weakest defender. So, like, Joe Harris's ability coming off screens, catching and shooting, like, these split second, that's all they need. Focus on Harden, boom, 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 dime. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if anything, this shows you why the Nets are even more dangerous than people think. Because most of the times, like, people were thinking, like, especially before when they had, like, Dinwiddie, LeVert, and whatever, you had a lot of offensive, multifaceted, like, guys who weren't necessarily catch and shoot guys. But now when you have 3-headed monster, those guys are the ability guys. the hierarchy, those guys. That's what you notice. They have the ball at all times. Those role players know their role. They literally spot up. If they don't have the take right there, give it back to those ability guys and let them create. As opposed to when you have LeVert, when you have Dinwiddie. Same thing with Kawhi that they were dealing with the Clippers. You have Lou Will. You have all these guys who could do multiple. Sometimes there's no hierarchy. If they get it, it's like, I don't have the shot. Okay, you know what? My turn to cook. And you're taking the usage and you're taking the ability, and the more times that Kawhi has, or those primary elite guys have it, you're taking it out their hands a lot of the times. Like if they don't have that taken and give it to you, they don't get it back. And you're now relying on other people to step up and just cook one-on-one. So you're taking the pressure off of the defense because they're focused on those guys. This situation, those guys, you can't get off the hook. If Harden has it doesn't work. Right, he passes it to Sham. No bucket. Give it right back. Just because he didn't score in those 5 seconds. After 1 second, I get it back. Let's try again. Like you literally have to keep defending. You don't get to just chill out. Oh, I locked him for 3 seconds. Oh, we're done with Harden now. No. And even if so, don't have it. Sham gets it. It's like, I can't go back to Harden. KD come off the curl. Now it's KD. Like elite guys are literally at all times focused on and literally controlling what's going on and killing. Then off of that, catch and shoot. Those role players are literally knowing what they do. So it's literally hierarchy. We don't have it. It's you. We get the rebound. It's you. Like they literally everything is those three. And then those guys get it in their moments, in their catch and shoot, whatever. And it's not like, oh, don't only shoot. It's like, obviously, they even shoot sometimes contested. Like they have the ultimate green light. They tell him when you get it, shoot it. If you don't have the shot and you can't kill him right in like that split 2-3 seconds or whatever, come back to me. It's all good. Hit DeAndre, and they have Golden State movement ability because they don't just try and force it to Harden or the KD or the Kyrie, and it's like the angle is bad. They'll use IQ. They'll throw it to DeAndre, and then now Harris might get it off the curl, or Harris curls in backdoors. You might hit him backdoor. Nope. Now Harden is now curling. Now it's still movement. People don't think that they just ISO. Like just watch the Nets and pay attention. Like they do ISO, obviously, but they also have movement. This is why their offense is so potent. They literally are the one offense that's literally. This is the one of the offense that I've seen that is not. It's multifaceted. It's not one-dimensional. It's not they can only just do this. They can only just do that. Like they literally do everything. They have Golden State offense, Golden State movement. They have one-on-one ability. They have pick and roll ability. They have shooting from deep off the screen ability. They have pick and roll shooting from the mid-range ability. They have post-ups ability from KD. They have transition ability. You know what I'm saying? They have backdoor cutting ability. They have every ability. Coming off screens ability. They like any ability that you want. Flare screens ability back. You know what I mean? Like double screen ability, pick and switch, ISO ability. Like they have any ability that an offense can actually implement in terms of just basketball, just in general of basketball. They actually can apply it. They have the skill set to apply it. Small ball ability, like they have every personnel. They have no weakness in terms of offense. They have no weakness. So when you look at it, like Golden State would have a lot of ball movement. But remember, before KD got there, they would have weaknesses of ISO ability. Curry doesn't really ISO his primary defender. So they'll do the screen. If man switch it properly and there's nothing, then it's like, who's going to create one-on-one? And that's what you've seen in playoffs, whatever. They don't have that issue. They could do that. Some teams, like the Lakers, that can kill one-on-one. LeBron can kill one-on-one. AD can kill one-on-one. They're not doing bare down screens and they have a Joe Harris coming off a screen that could shoot. LeBron's not coming off the screen pulling threes like he's Clay. Like they don't have that ball movement, off ball screening, screen action, flare screen action ability. The Lakers don't have that. So you have teams that have one or the other. And then the teams that could maybe do both, they have low tier talent. So they're still lower tier at the both they do. Name me a team that has literally Golden State ability and the Lakers ISO ability, like from back in the day. Cavs ability, ISO ability from then. Like they have, you know what I mean? They literally, and that's what made Golden State so different, because they could do all the down screen ability and then KD's there. But this is a different version of it. This is 2.0. That's what people don't understand. This is actually 2.0 of Golden State. And a lot of people obviously are gonna talk about the thing going the three with Clay, Steph, and KD, and whatever the case is. Like, Clay's coming off the screens, but his ISO ability, maybe on a different team he'll do it, but he's not. There's only so much he could do ISO, right? Ball handling wise and whatever. Curry, only so much he does ISO. If you actually really watch it, he ISOs when he has the mismatch and like the weaker guy switches. Like the big guy, even if it's a smaller big, but it's still weaker compared to the mobile, agile Pat Bev or primary defender on him. Get him off me, get Dellavedova off me. Love, come here. Tristan Thompson, come here. And, the bigs come here. Rudy Gobert. That's where you see his highlights from the dancing. And then when he kills his primary defender, a lot of the times it's in situations where he kind of was coming off the ball. He caught it now. They're running the closeout, and then he now kills him with dance. It's not like come down, you catch, face up, mono, now we kill. He doesn't really get it in those situations. Or transition, he's coming down, and man's are already chasing in transition, so he already has the whole downhill to his advantage. So now, you know what I mean? That's where his killing is normal. Or he coming off a screen, then now he's already open off the screen, but so this guy's now closing out. Now it's So when he has people at his mercy where they're not fully set, he's gonna kill. But when he has them fully set, they switch everything. Now kill. You have to kill. 1-on-1. That's what he lacks. And I'm just being real. That's why he lacked, and that's why he hasn't got a Finals MVP, and that's why they needed KD to win in the Finals. They didn't need KD to get there, but to win after the healthy Cavs, they needed KD. So when you look at it from that perspective, like I told y'all, that ability literally is something that you see. Harden has the one-on-one ability. He might not catch and shoot, whatever, but his one-on-one ability and playmaking ability is second to none, right? Then you have the fact that Kyrie is literally Klay Thompson and Curry in one. And some. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at KD is literally Klay Thompson and Kawhi. He's all in one as well. So it's like, come on now. And AD in one. Like, he's like, so it's like, and then now you still have Joe Harris is now the Klay Thompson. So you have role players that are doing Klay Thompson stuff as opposed to, you know what I mean? Like, come on now. It's too much. It's too much ability. Now, when you look at it from the Lakers end, obviously they're hindered. I know. Like, I don't really assess. They're not having AD. Now, from before earlier, I could really assess how, remember, they don't have Dwight. Like, they don't have Dwight and they don't have, JaVale. And those are the things that kind of hindered them. In terms of like their bigs would just run, they will overpower the other bigs. They're more athletic. They'll out off the rebound, they run down hella quick, and then they would just kill off transition and stuff like that. Now, you know what I mean? They're not really doing that. They're not punishing down low like that. They're more so small ball a lot of the times, even with Harrow and a lot of that. Like this, like their defense in the perimeter in the paint is not the same. Like there's so many deficiencies that they have, but they have better offense in terms of like what they've replaced. But again, they're still slow paced and stuff like that. So like, obviously they're gonna beat the other teams and whatever. And they're still favorite to go to the finals. You know what I'm saying? So I'm obviously just waiting to see how AD's health is. That's why I'm not gonna talk too much about them. Like obviously they should have did better, but AD that's why for me I've always thought AD was the MVP of that team. Obviously, like right now AD hasn't played the best, but he's still averaging 22 on 50-something% shooting. It's just you're used to 80 at 27 and whatever, but he's still, because also too Harrow has come. They're doing more things. It's a shorter turnaround, so he's not gonna go to work always. They have Harrow coming in. Schroeder is doing good too. Like something like he's not getting the ball in certain situations because they have 2 6-men of the years on the team too as well. You know what I'm saying? And he's not being as aggressive. We get that, but probably he's more so. I think he was even hindered due to injury and the quick turnaround. But again, like he's still an all-star regardless, like what he's doing. And at the end of the day, like when you look at it. Is what elite looks like at the end of the day. And that's what I try to tell people, that AD is like, he's so crucial, especially defensively, his paint protection, him at the 5. Like that's what I feel like he's always been the MVP of that team. Even though LeBron's not right now this year is doing more numbers. It's funny. AD was doing more of the numbers and having better numbers and doing all of that and beating LeBron in all those numbers except assists, but all the defensive and all that type of stuff. And he wasn't considered MVP of that team last year. But then now, and LeBron was considered MVP of that team last year, doing less than AD, right? Now LeBron is doing more than AD, and then he's still considered, oh my God, he's doing more. Now the argument they used for AD last year, they're using for LeBron this year as why he's the MVP of that team. It's like, this is how you know, they just be capping. They love LeBron so much, they don't even be real anymore. And that's what I hate. It's not even people think I hate LeBron. It's just a lot of y'all pump fake and are blinded by you love LeBron so much that you just say so much different caps, and it's so disrespectful to the game that it's like y'all take things too far and you cap the most when it comes with LeBron. Out of all superstars in the NBA, LeBron fans cap the most. And when you look at it, that's why if you look at it just how you look at Banks just, you always hear me cap. That's my whole thing. My whole thing is I just debunk all these caps. That's what I do. So obviously when the fan base that does the most capping that I have to debunk is the LeBron fan base. That's why it looks like I hate him the most, because I have to cap and debunk all the most fake narratives for LeBron because he has the most narratives. So that's why it looks like I hate him. When that's cap, I don't. I don't hate him. Like, you see me praise certain things. If I hated him, I would say he's doo-doo and everything and whatever. No, it's about you have to rate everything accordingly. You don't cap. How could you be the number one guy and be the MVP of the team when you averaged less points than 80 last year? You had less rebounds than 80 last year. You were less impactful defensively. 80 was almost defensive player of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only had more assists. And he was MVP. But now this year, 80's doing less in those categories now, and LeBron is doing more scoring, more everything, and then now LeBron is the MVP, so he's doing more. So now you take this. So, come on. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You're contradicting yourself. You already know anyways. Nothing is enough, man. You already know. But like I said, this was more so about the Nets and just you saw elite defense. So it was more so like what are y'all going to say now? What are y'all going to say now? When I told y'all, like, they will play defense. They will get timely stops. And in the slower pace, their defense is even going to look more elite. I told y'all the pace of play is the manipulation and why it looks like they have no defense. Go look at the rebounding categories. Go look at the blocking categories. Go look at all of those defensive categories. They're high in some of them. They're top in the league in some of them. But they're bottom in the league in some of them. So what does that tell you? There's something that's going on here. It's not that they're just straight ass all the way around. There's context to it. You can't be ass all the way around, but then top in some defensive categories. It makes no sense. And that's where, you know what I'm saying? That's where it just exposes what people are saying. Anyways, you already know it's True Talks, because True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. You already know. Share, like, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You already know, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming for that IQ. That's what I do. This could be a finals matchup. Last thing, I rate Kyrie. He said, he didn't just say, we're going to see them down the road, whatever. Or, we hope to see them down the road. We said we hope to see them down the road. And I'm looking for, everyone wants to see it, but I'm looking for it. I want them healthy. I want them healthy. Yo, Kyrie's a dog. People just hate on Kyrie, but they want them healthy. That's when it's smoke. It reminds me of the Spurs where they're like, we want the Heat healthy. We lost. We want the same team healthy, and we want to face them again. That's a team that's motivated, that's ready to just silence a lot of y'all. They watch the media. They watch what y'all be saying. They just ready to silence y'all. That's different breed. Are you out your mind? All right, say less. Bruh. And that's when you give dogs who are already dogs and already all-time clutch and already the most elite players of all time, that type of motivation and that type of context to be having that smoke and breathing out their nose and puffing their chest, and they're even coming with, like, bruh, they're coming even more. It's like giving a killer a reason to kill. You don't want to do that. Don't wake him up. Oh, man. I love it, man. You already know. And I'm out, man.